Don't let anyone dull your sparkle. This was a quote that was very important to my mom. Today, I am here to honor my mom and best friend, Tammy, with all of you. For those of you who do not know me, I am Anna, and I am the oldest daughter of Tammy's two kids. Tammy was a phenomenal mother, a passionate educator, and an inspirational woman. Her life was nothing short of amazing. Today, we are here to celebrate her life with stories and memories of her. My mom was a kind-hearted woman who had a personality that lit up a whole room. She cared for her family, friends, students, and pets. She always put others before herself. I would like to share some stories that were put together by myself, the loved ones closest to her, and the stories that she has told me. My mom's biggest passion was teaching the lives of the youth. From being a babysitter in her younger days to being a fifth grade teacher for more than 20 years, she loved influencing children's lives. My mom was born the oldest of 3 children to her mother Katie and her father Wayne. As her parents worked, she was in charge of caring for her younger sister Lisa and her youngest brother Ryan. Throughout her childhood, she developed a passion for not only taking care of children, but helping them learn along the way. Even though watching her younger siblings was time-consuming and even frustrating, she still loved her family more than anything. Growing up, my mom was always the example of what her younger siblings needed to look up to. She had many responsibilities placed on her at a time. Every day when her parents were working, she would be in charge of Lisa and Ryan. The story that I am about to tell you reflects the kind of chaos that goes on in her day-to-day life. However, she was still able to remain cool, calm, and collected despite the events that occurred. One time while she was watching Lisa and Ryan got out of control. While my mom wasn't around, he started shoving hairbrushes, combs, curling irons, and shampoo bottles down the toilet. He wanted to get a rise out of my mom, and it worked. Even though her blood was boiling, she was able to eventually move on. The point that I am trying to make here is that no matter how wicked one's actions are, she was still able to see the good in them and love them for who they were. We know that my mom's love for children was apparent in her early years as a youth. Throughout many life experiences, she stuck with her passion for kids and graduated from the University of Wisconsin, Green Bay, with her degree in elementary education. Out of college, she had many different teaching positions in different schools in Appleton, Wisconsin. However, she spent more than 15 years at Huntley Elementary teaching the 5th grade. My mom always gravitated toward the kids who had a rough home life and struggled with different academics. One story that I've heard countless times and remember happening was the impact that she had on one of her male students. One of her students didn't have reliable parents. They were not able to get him up in time in the morning to get to school. That was caused by other things going on at home. Well, a teacher notices day in and day out when the same student is showing up late every single day. My mom, being the person she was, talked to him and got to the bottom of what was happening at home. Since she couldn't change his home life, even though she wanted to, she bought him an alarm clock from her own pocket. This way he could set an alarm for himself and be able to wake himself up for school. This shows just how caring she was for each and every one of her students, regardless of who they were or where they came from. She wanted the best for all of her students. Another large portion that makes my mom the teacher she was the personality and specifically her fashion sense. The quote mentioned earlier, "Don't let anyone dull your sparkle," is true. She was independent and carried herself in a way where no one's judgments stopped her. In the nicest way possible, she doesn't care about what others think. This is not only what makes a teacher stand out, but also as a person. If it wasn't for her love for kids and her daring personality, she wouldn't have made the impact on her students and her friends today. Most importantly, she wouldn't have shown me what it is to have a role model like her in my life. The love she had goes beyond just the classroom. Her love also contributed to the mother that she was to her own kids. As my mom grew up, her passion for kids kept on growing. If she wasn't a teacher, she would have been a stay-at-home mom. She was lucky enough to have met the father of her children in high school that stuck with her throughout college. After college, the two soon got married. A few years after they had adjusted to the married life, I was born. 2.5 years later, my brother Michael was born. It looked like the perfect family: a married couple, 2 children, and a beloved pet. Years passed by, and our family split. However, it was not as sad as it sounds. Some couples hold off on getting divorces because of their children and how they are too young. I am proud that my parents were able to make the decisions that they made. Going forward, we knew that things would be different. There was going to be 2 of everything: 2 houses, 2 bedrooms, 2 toothbrushes, and 2 different parents living in 2 different locations. After settling into our new home with our mom, Michael and I were excited to start this new journey. My mom was our superhero. She kept up with our laundry and dirty dishes, made us delicious meals every day, and even helped us with our own homework after her long day of teaching her own class. She never failed to give us her best. She resembled a true role model. Who wouldn't want to be her when they grew up? As many of you know, my mom and I were inseparable. We did almost everything together. There hasn't been a day that has gone by where we haven't been in contact with one another, either over the phone or in person. Those around me have seen just how a phenomenal mother she is, a passionate educator she was, and an inspirational woman she was. I have been told many times, "Anna, you are the spitting image of your mother." Physically, I can see it, but when it comes down to what is behind the appearance, I wish I could be half the person she was. I can't imagine life without my best friend by my side. But it is important to look at all the lasting impressions she has left on us. Today, we will let the legacy of Tammy live on, and remember, don't let anyone dull your sparkle.